What's going on? Charles Botenston here. Just wanted to make a quick video, and you got Times Square behind. That's literally the Times Square ball right there. It's really cool. It changes colors and it moves up and down at the office space. And I really wanted to come out with something about comparisons because living in a hyper-active, hyper-connected socially world, it is so easy to... So many things just came into my mind. So number one is why did I, how do I get video ideas or video, obviously from you guys who are watching, commenting, ask questions. I'm like, that's an awesome idea. I'm like, let's talk about it. So, and by the way, nothing I say is actually mine. It's from people way smarter than me that I just took their ideas, tried it out, repackaged it, and I'm like, okay, that worked actually. And then there's other things that I'm like, it's not for me, and that's literally what you do in any of my videos, or Bob Proctor, or Tony Robbins, or Brian Tracy, or Les Brown, any of these guys, Gary Vaynerchuk, is that you take the ideas that mean the most to you, and then you just forget about the rest. The best people produce new content all the time. And that's why I love Gary Vaynerchuk and Tony Robbins, is once they get tired of talking about something, they move on. So this is about comparison. And it really came from a comparison. So, the lifestyle that I'm living, it's pretty funny because I'm a single guy, 31. All my friends are married. Most of them have kids now. And there's a couple of single guys out there that I'm obviously floating around with. So I met this girl, and attractive girl. She was the spin teacher, actually very attractive physically, and she was a spin teacher at Equinox. So after the class, and it was funny too because it was really, really dark, and she got off the bike, she turned on the lights, and I was like, whoa, this girl is a smoke show. So I didn't say anything because I'm in my mind when I'm spinning at Equinox. This is just excuses coming out right now. I was just a big pansy and I didn't say anything because she was like a 9. And then what's funny is she's like, oh yeah, I'm going to be teaching spin at 6:15 or 6:30, and I'm like, that's too early because I wake up at 5 something, I do my morning routine, I leave at 5. I got my morning routine, it really works. And for little side note is that for the members at the website, which I'm changing, by the way, because everyone was like, I don't like iCharles.com. It's a terrible domain name. All right, fine. Gosh. Beating me over the head with pans. Anything else you want? No, joking. So... but I also thought about it. So I came out of the video called Future Think, and Future Think is essentially just like when you have an idea and you're hatching it, it's like, what is this going to be in 5, 6, 7 years? And I obviously thought about iCharles, and then I thought about Craigslist. You think Craigslist, that guy doesn't have an ego? Yeah, by the way, the 4th largest website on the world is named after me. So yeah, I obviously thought about it. I thought about a better domain name. And if you have anything else, definitely let me know. So here we go. I'm going to be coming out with an ego video for members, and then my morning routine for members, because I got to bring content to the website. I'm also bringing Nick Drosis. I don't know if you know him. He's one of the large. He's got like 230,000 subscribers or something ridiculous. We connected via YouTube. And he comes to New York, and he's coming back again. The guy is a total rock star. I love the guy. Nick Drosis. I don't know. Just go YouTube his name. But so totally forgot about the girl. And a month and a half passes, and I see her walking out of the class, and I was like, oh crap. I was like, there she is. So we start walking up the stairs. I'm going to work, and I was like, you're the girl that spins, of course. As a guy, you remember. She's like, yeah. We start talking everything else. We hit it off. And she's stunning. She's beautiful. And she's really into health, and she's talking about lemon water in the morning. I'm like, yeah, those and she's into spinning, and I love biking and everything else. And you have this mindset of who she is. Because we interacted for 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, we should hang out and everything else. She said, yeah, I don't give out my number, but definitely, we really connected and everything else. And I was like, okay, perfect. So texted her back and forth and everything else. This is the funny thing is, so you have an idea of who someone is, the comparison, either because you either met them, or for me, This is even a perfect example. You think I'm like this total rock star and that like I have millions of dollars and I live this crazy lifestyle. I don't. Okay, I'm always changing. I'm always trying to live what I want to live. And when you meet me, I have fears and insecurities and wake up late and eat sometimes crappy food, and I try and live the best life I can, and I have all the foibles that you have as well. Like, so don't put me on a pedestal, don't put anyone on a pedestal, and I'll tell you why. So I hang out with this girl. She's an idiot, okay? Beautiful, stunning, but in New York City that's not a big deal. In LA that's like more, but in New York City you have smarter girls, and not to judge, but I'm judging. We have smarter girls in New York City. And I love intelligence. And we started hanging out, and I'm very sarcastic. I'm very, like, there's surface jokes. There's the, well, oh my God, he slipped on a banana. I'm not into that. I'm into the Louis C.K., which is like the surface joke you already get, which he doesn't even talk about. He goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and then he layers the jokes, and that's my kind of humor. And she didn't get that. And she's like, and then she's kind of turned off. And I was like, oh, okay, I got to relate because we're out with each other. And I wasn't like trying to do that, but it's like that instinctual like sales kind of thing where you have to relate, like, okay, fine, if she's not into that, I'm not going to, continue it. And she ended up not wanting to talk anymore. Not like in person, but we hung out and everything else and da-da-da. And then she like stopped texting. And this is what it is that don't compare yourself to people, because or even more extreme is that don't have an idea of who they are, because you have no idea. You have no idea. I'm in real estate. I met tons of celebrities. I met very wealthy people who, behind closed doors, a lot of them are unhappy. A lot of them don't have the lifestyle you think they do. That they sleep late, or they have a terrible marriage, or their kids hate them, or they are blah, blah, blah. Like, for me, like, there's tons of areas of my life that I wish was better. I can go into it right now. Like, I wish the company was bigger. I wish I had more business. I wish, but it's not even like a wishing where, like, where my happiness is suffering. That's the thing, is that, like, the journey that you're on is that whatever you don't have, don't make it an insecurity where you're unhappy. Still be happy and just be striving for that, because there's something better in the future. This is a really deep video. I feel really good right now. So, A is because I'm saying things that are true in my life, and I hope they relate to you, is that when you put people on a pedestal and then you hang out with them, this is what happens. You get disappointed, and then you say, maybe success isn't worth it, or maybe the lifestyle isn't worth it. Maybe other people are like that. Maybe everyone's a facade. Maybe everyone's a charlatan. They'll see Ty Lopez and they'll say maybe he's just he's a, what is it, triangle based or pyramid scheme kind of guy. And it's like, no, just get the information that he provides and then move on. Or Grant Cardone, like, absorb as much information as you can. Like, I unsubscribed from his YouTube channel because, like, it doesn't relate to me anymore. But there's other people that I will always be, because they're living the lifestyle I want. And that's not nothing against them. It's just, okay, great. That's for someone maybe that's newer in the game. And then once you reach another level, then you'll figure out someone else. And then when you get higher, you'll figure out someone else. And I know, there's other people that I'll be striving for. So this is the thing, is that number one is don't compare yourself. Don't put people, like, for this girl, is that I had this whole lifestyle that she lived the lifestyle I lived. She read and everything else. Because I was talking about, I'm obsessed with Tony Robbins. I love him and he's awesome and blah, blah. And she's like, well, no, I'm not like that involved. That wasn't her. But she was kind of like, well, like, okay. And, I was saying it as a joke. But it was true. It was like a true joke and vulnerability and everything else. But she was putting on a facade and everything else. So don't, I don't want to say don't. That's just a bad word. But just recognize when you're putting people on a pedestal, and always know people like myself or Gary Vaynerchuk or Tony Robbins or whoever you follow, whoever's your person, the lifestyle you want to lead, say in sports or business or love or relationships or your spouse or whatever, and you want that in your life, just know they have insecurities. It's the perfect example is there's this guy, gosh, I forgot his name, but he's like the guy that girls go to for dating advice with guys. He's a straight guy that gives dating advice to girls about dating guys, if that makes sense. And he's a very handsome guy. He's got an accent, so he's from like Britain or whatever. And he came out with this video and he said, don't box me in as the dating guy, because then when I start going into the self-development guy, you're going to be like, no, get back in your box of dating advice. Don't talk about finances and everything else. And he was talking about like being a full lifestyle. And I like that because it was vulnerable. He was like, I take craps at night, and now his videos are funny. Like he ended a video and he was on the toilet, like he had his pants on and everything. But he was being vulnerable. And that's what we need in society now is more vulnerability. I don't follow politics, but Donald Trump, he doesn't care about what he says, and like people will be like, "Did you hear what he said last?" And I don't care because it is what it is. Like, what am I gonna complain to other people? But it's like that's missing in society. Not Donald Trump's rhetoric, but like where someone has such a stance that you're so against it. And there could be someone on the other side. I don't know, whoever's on the other side that talks about, say like Michael Moore. It's like, I can't believe what Michael Moore does or da-da-da. And it's like, good. You agree or disagree. It's like Donald Trump is bringing out the best and the worst of what people actually think, but they're raising it to the surface. The vulnerability of what Gary Vaynerchuk brings to is what we need. And my only gripe with Tai Lopez is that he doesn't show any vulnerability. And that's why people are like, he's a charlatan, he's a pyramid scheme kind of guy. He pays models to be with him. And it's like, I don't know if he knows it or, he's got Lambos and Maseratis and Rolls Royce. And it's like, dude, you don't need that. And listen, he lives the lifestyle. I don't really care. You live the lifestyle you want. Like, you do you. Like, I'm not going to change you. You do you. Whatever you do, you do. But that actual vulnerability that, say, Tony Robbins or Gary Vaynerchuk or this dating guy is what I really am grasping onto. And I love it. And maybe that's why I don't follow politics, because it's very fake and they don't do what they say. And it's a bunch of BS. And that's why I like the self-development community, because you're developing yourself. So don't have an ideal version of something like this girl that it was really like 2 dates that we went on. And it was like the second one, it wasn't even really a date. And this is the really funny part. So she stopped communicating. She didn't answer a text message, and then I was like, okay, it wasn't that big of a deal. She's beautiful and everything else, but I'm past the point where I need to be shown with a pretty girl. I'm 31. I don't really care. I'm going for someone that's into what I would rather take an 8 than a 10, as long as the 8 stimulates me mentally and we can joke around and she's smart and she's outgoing. And that's the funny thing is, a lot of the 10s, I talk to them like they're humans, and the looks scale, and a lot of the 10s, this is the funny thing is, they are not used to it and they get really nervous because they're used to doors being opened and them and other people being nervous. And I talked to a very attractive girl, it's like I talk to them as a human, talk to a celebrity as a human, talk to a business guy as a human. You see me in the street, be like, yeah, what's up, man? Or whatever. I don't when you put, we're all humans, we all have foibles, and I'm not saying that me as an ego sense, but talk to anyone that say you like their stuff or you. That did come out pretty ego. Now that I'm thinking about it, but whatever. Like Gary, I remember I was like a fanboy when I first met him, and he's like, "Dude, all right, like take it easy." And I was like, "All right, yeah, you're right." And then the second time I saw him, I was like, "Yeah, okay," and didn't ask for a picture or anything because I know I'm going to be talking with him in the future. Like, I know it. I'm going to be opening up for him, or we're going to be talking at the same event, and we're going to become friends. We live in New York City. We both like the Jets. We're both into business and everything else. Don't put anyone on a pedestal. We all have fears and everything else, and also don't pretend like don't have the mindset of who someone is without actually knowing who they are. Especially being in real estate, and I've taken a lot of people out for buying and selling homes, and they are not who they are on the movie screen or on TV or in the newspaper. People see that they go to say Cipriani's or some expensive steakhouse, and then they get into their private car and they go to their penthouse. Don't think they're happy. All right, don't think they're super happy. All right, so have an awesome day. Don't do any comparisons. I know this was a lot longer. And obviously hop over to the new website, domain name to be determined. And probably actually by the video comes out, you already know, but it's all below. And we're building the largest self-development community. I was going to say company. Let's say community, because it's not going to be a company. It's going to be run by you guys, and then whatever happens. Like, I'm going to have hopefully 2 businesses. The one that I love to do passionately, and the other one that I just love because it makes me fearful and makes me like in the morning, like the self-development, like that's just something I just absolutely love. It's like biking, and then the other one is like like the public speaking or whatever, which is real estate and like the problems and solving problems and everything else. That really gets my heart going. So have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon.